I mean, Bob Guerin got ejected because Matt Holliday twice was rung up on pitches that we talked about the chalk on the inside. It went almost to the middle of the left-handed batter's box against Matt Holliday.
First pitch of the ball game from Dallas Braden to Marco Scutaro is a bit outside. Joe West is the home plate umpire this afternoon. Ed Rapalano at first, Paul Schreiber at second, and Paul Nauert, who was behind the plate yesterday, is down at third. Strike to Scutaro, 1-1.
First pitch to Marco Scutaro was a changeup, and first 2 games of the series he's jumped on the first pitch. Double on Friday night, grounded out yesterday. And of course, the players, umpires wearing pink wristbands, using pink bats.
The pink bat works for Marco Scutaro as he lines a single to center field. It's the 5th hit in the series for Scutaro, and that's how the ball game starts.
Pitch is up and away to Marco. Another off-speed pitch, the changeup, and Marco took it right back up the middle. Outstanding year for Scutaro, especially against his former team.
So that'll bring up Aaron Hill. Hill goes after the first pitch. It's a little pop-up foul territory. Crosby chases it down, but comes up just a little bit short, so it's a strike. Blue Jays are 21-12, best record in the American League and second best record in the major leagues. Only the Dodgers have a better record. So that is why there is excitement surrounding the Blue Jays. They're 10-8 on the road and 11-4 at home. Blue Jays, after today's game, will head home for a 7-game homestand against the Yankees and the White Sox. So I'm sure they're ready to head back to Toronto with 21-12 under Cito Gaston. Another foul ball to the right side by Hill.
I think the Blue Jays and all clubs have videos on the opposing pitchers and scouting reports. And one thing they would definitely say about Dallas Braden, and it's true, Cito Gaston, an excellent hitting coach and hitter himself, would say off-speed pitches away. We're on the cut fastball inside and the four-seam fastball, but not afraid to throw the changeup anytime.
So 1-2 the count. Our leaderboard today is brought to you by Firestone. Most hits in the majors coming into today. Toronto Blue Jays with 354, Dodgers with 312, and then the Rays, Red Sox, and Rangers. That's the most hits by a team. Jack Hanahan dives, gets up, throws to second to get the out there. Hill is safe at first. Nice play by Jack Hanahan. Takes a base hit away from Aaron Hill.
Jack Hanahan continues to excel at third base and definitely takes a base hit away and maybe even a first and third away from the Blue Jays. Adam Kennedy a throw to first to try to double up Aaron Hill. Not a chance because of his speed, but Jack Hanahan, excellent job at third defensively. Adam Kennedy we're seeing for the first time on Comcast Sportsnet California. He did start yesterday afternoon in his first game with the Athletics after being acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Get so used to seeing Kennedy in his Angels uniform. It's a bit strange to see him in the green and gold, but the A's are happy that he is. A good veteran second baseman and a pretty good hitter. I found him when he was with the Angels. He's always tough in clutch situations. He didn't hit necessarily a lot of home runs, but he drove in a lot of big runs, I know, against the A's. So.
MVP in the ALCS in 2002 in the World Championship season of the Angels. Came up with a big run-scoring hit yesterday afternoon in the ninth inning to keep the inning alive and made it a 6-4 game with a base hit to right field with 2 outs. I think Dallas Braden would be happy with 4 runs.
Maybe enough with him the way he's pitching. There are only 2 pitchers in the American League that have a better starting pitchers that have a better ERA than Dallas Braden. Zach Greinke and Eric Bedard. Eric Bedard 2.37 and Greinke is still under an ERA under 1. Dallas Braden at 2.50. So good company in the early going for Dallas Braden. Quick throw, and Hill, if he didn't know it already, he does now. But Dallas Braden has a very good step-off move.
Well, you don't have to get a very big lead with Dallas Braden's quick move, because you can take a couple of steps, and if you don't react, you're going to be out.
Driven to center. Sweeney racing back. He'll get there. He makes the catch. Rios is retired. So 2 outs, and this is what Adam Kennedy did yesterday.
Time to line drive and timed it perfectly. Took a base hit away, and then in the 9th inning against Scott Downs. This could have driven in 2, but the A's were down by 2 at the time when Jack Cuss scored. So Mike Gallego, good idea to hold up Ryan Sweeney at third. But Adam Kennedy with that little uppercut swing, and he can find the right side of the infield. And every once in a while, he'll put the ball in the seats.
2 outs. Hill still at first, and the hitter is Vernon Wells, who takes a little bit low. Wells, hitting the cleanup spot, is 4 for 10 in the series. He has 4 singles. 3 of those 4 hits came yesterday. Just off the plate, 2-0. Adam Lind is in the on-deck circle. Hill with a very short lead, and that's hit hard into center field past Braden, and it got him. It did not go into center field. I'm sorry, it was ticketed to center field, but it got Braden, and he is down. See if we can tell where it hit Dallas Braden.
Low fastball. It put his left hand up in front of his chest, and well, it was headed to center field, and that's how much his body stopped it. Well, the hitter, Vernon Wells, concerned to make sure it's okay. And
you saw that left hand go up, but the question is, did the ball hit the hand or the wrist or
off his camera? Off. This is just.
It may have got some part of the arm and then maybe the chest too.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like there was a double hit.
It's going to take a lot to get Dallas Braden out of a game. Dan Geis is going to start to get loose just in case.
Well, that may be our answer right there, Ray. Looks like maybe right top part of the hand. Braden, we'll see if he can stay out there. He's, I'm sure, knowing Dallas, trying to talk his way into staying out there.
And Bob Guerin talking to Walt Horn, assistant athletic trainer. Dallas a few starts ago came out as precautionary because of a groin injury. First came out because they did not want to take a chance of that altering his delivery because of the groin injury. And of course the hand, it is what it is. You're gonna feel it when you throw. Just a question over time how much it's going to affect him. It will not be counted as a trip. It's what Joe West is telling Bob Guerin, and remarkably, Dallas Braden is staying in the game, at least for now. Well, we are told that, and it just tells you about how much time a pitcher has. A third of a second in the time the bat met the baseball and got to Dallas break. A third of a second. So you can imagine the follow through. What a hitter or a pitcher. First of all, the hitter has a little bit more than that time to react and what the pitch is going to be. But even worse for a pitcher, and the ball coming back that hard. And Vernon Wells is a very strong individual anyway. The ball just crushed off his bat.
First and second and 2 outs. I think at least the hitter, he knows that the ball is coming at him, yes. Right? I mean the pitcher, I think you can really sit there and think the ball is going to be coming back toward him. Hill at second and Wells at first. And that's a line drive to right field, base hit. Cust has it. Here comes Hill. The throw to the plate, and it's going to be not cut off. A perfect throw, and Aaron Hill stopped halfway down and went back to third. Probably the right thing to do.
Yeah, Nick Levin, the third base coach, the veteran third base coach. You react on the way the ball is hit, how hard it's hit, and he rounded third when Jack Cust had the ball in his hand. And yesterday afternoon, Jack Cust threw out a runner at the plate with a perfect one-hop throw, and of course Leva remembered that. And even though 2 outs, did not want to take the chance. 2 outs, a lot of times a runner will be sent just because of difficulty coming up with another hit, and let's hope that is the case with Braden against Scott Rowland.
Rowland takes a fastball right in there for a strike, 87 miles an hour. Slowly hit. Cabrera's going to go the easy way. Side retired. So Braden stays in the game. We'll give him credit for that big time. And he gets out of the jam as the Jays leave him loaded in the top of the first. Meetings going on in the dugout surrounding Dallas Braden. And I say heated, not that they're mad, but I think we maybe want to take him in and take a quick look at it, but we'll see if that happens. Cabrera, Suzuki, Giambi for the A's at the top of the lineup, and Holiday, Custon, Sweeney, Crosby, Kennedy, and Hanahan down at the bottom. That's the A's lineup, brought to you by McDonald's. Brett Cecil is the pitcher for the Blue Jays, the left-hander, and Cabrera takes a bit outside.
Dallas Braden is going up the tunnel into the clubhouse area with Dr. Elliot Schwartz, one of the A's team doctors.
And I said heated, and that was not the proper word. They were
discussion
about what should we do here, and I don't think Dallas wanted to go up into the clubhouse.
Well, the one thing, he's going up without his glove and his jacket and his cap, so that would indicate that from his standpoint, he's going to come back and pitch the second. But there's no doubt, when you get hit that hard, regardless of whether you're a hitter, position player, pitcher, you're going to feel the effect of it and what's going to happen while you're still pitching, and swelling, etc. Let's just hope it's nothing more than a bruise and not a fracture.
2-2 the count to Cabrera with Kurt Suzuki in the on-deck circle. Strike 3 called on the inside corner, and Cabrera knew it. So 1 out. Here's the defense for the Blue Jays today. Bautista in left, Wells in center, Rios in right, Roland, Scutero on the left side, Hill, Millar on the right side. Rod Barajas catches the young left-hander Brett Cecil.
Number 1 draft choice in 2007. Here we are in 2009 and at AAA Las Vegas. 4 starts. He's 0-3. So he did pitch 6 innings against the Cleveland Indians. And you can understand when watching Cabrera take strike 3. He's got a kind of a compact windup, but then the big long arm extends, and it might take a little while to get acclimated to his release point. Watch this as he takes right there. That's a long release.
Cecil's just 22 years old. See, 6'1", 235 pounds. Center field. And that'll drop in front of Vernon Wells. So on an 0-2 count, Kurt Suzuki has a base hit.
One thing that occurs with a young pitcher, and might have great velocity, but if there's one thing that they all work on a lot, is control. This is supposed to be a fastball inside. Rod Barajas set up inside, and it leaked out over the plate a little bit, and just enough for Suzuki to get the good part of the bat on the ball. A hitting coach in the stands, Jason, be aggressive. Were you here yesterday, sir? He was aggressive. No.
Shot, and that's a fair ball. Millar makes a great play at first. It was a one-hop shot that he caught. He gets the out at first on Giambi. Suzuki goes to second. Terrific play.
Well, that's a double, maybe an RBI, but Kevin Millar, because he's holding the runner, all he had to do is just dive back to his left, could not get the ball out of his glove, and Kurt Suzuki hustling in the scoring position. Good idea. Kurt also kind of got in the line of where he thought the throw was going to be coming from Kevin Millar. An excellent play by the veteran first baseman, and now we'll take a 2-out hit to score the run.
It'll be Matt Holliday. Inside Holliday. But getting back to the pitcher, Brett Cecil. Just a couple years in the minor leagues, only threw just a shade over 200 minor league innings. And he is now in the big leagues.
Well, a lot of it because of the disabling of several pitchers of the Blue Jays starting the season, plus during the season. Rick Romero, who the A's faced in Toronto. In fact, it was Romero who beat Blue Jay, or the A's, with Dallas Braden on the mound.
Well, the Blue Jays giving these young guys a chance. Romero went on the disabled list soon after that, but he looks like he has a chance to be a decent young pitcher. And of course, the Blue Jays have high hopes for Cecil, a former #1 draft pick. That major league debut he made back on May 5th against the Indians. He didn't walk anybody, which is pretty impressive, but he hit 3 batters. Drive to right. Rios to his right makes the catch. A line drive out for Matt Holliday, and the A's do not score. We're headed to the second. Dallas Braden looks like he's coming back out. No score. On Mother's Day, and that is Ryan Sweeney with his mother, Lori. A very nice picture. Ryan grew up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. They got a minor league team in Cedar Rapids, something they have for a long time.
Usually get a lot of rain there, too. And snow.
And snow. Millar, Barajas, and Bautista. 3 hitters here in the second inning for the Toronto Blue Jays. If you're just joining us, we're thrilled that Dallas Braden is back on the mound, because in the first inning, Vernon Wells hit a line drive, and it looked like it hit him in the left hand and wrist area, and he went down big time. But he was able to stay in the game, get out of the inning, and then in this last half inning, he went into the clubhouse. Came back out, and he's back out there here in the second. So it looks like Dallas Braden's okay.
A pitcher with less of a pain threshold would maybe come out of the game with a couple of runners on base, but Dallas said, those are my 2 guys. I'm not going to leave it up to somebody else to get them out.
This is it right here.
If you missed it, turn off the TV. You don't want to see it. Shot back up the middle, and you're right. It looked like it was headed to center field, and Dallas Braden stopped it.
Well, when I saw the ball kind of go past him, it shows you how hard it was. It still looked like it was going into center field. It ended up just kind of trickling towards second base. Oh, 2 to Millar. Skies one to left, where Holliday drifts toward the line a little bit. And that's the first down.
Batting in the 8th position, the catcher, number 20, Rod Barajas.
I think for Dallas Braden, he'll have to figure out how much it's going to stiffen up between innings. While he's pitching, everything's nice and loose, and just hope he's able to. Well, his normal turn would be Friday in Detroit with Brett Anderson. Possibly he could start, or Dallas Braden on Saturday, one of the two. But I think what Dallas Braden is showing today is the reason there was no concern about him being the open day starter. And would he be nervous with his life, what he's gone through, and him taking a shot the way he did today says a lot about who Dallas Braden is, the type of person he is.
Tough son for everybody, and it's going to be Cabrera who makes the catch. 2 outs here in the second. Well, the fact that the A's have an off day tomorrow and an off day Thursday, they can kind of do almost what they want with their rotation as far as moving people around.
Well, the concern was to give Brent Anderson extra days, which they have done by skipping a start, and with the off days they can do that. And again, they could pitch him Friday or Saturday. But I know that since Dallas Braden's normal term would be on Friday, the 5th day, and there's a possibility he would pitch then and have Brent Anderson take an extra day.
Sweeney and Holiday coming together, and it's going to drop right in between them. So Jose Bautista has a 2-out hit. That's the 4th hit for the Jays in the ballgame. And they left the bases loaded in the 1st.
Number 19.
Well, off the end of the bat, not hit hard enough for Sweeney or Holiday to get to the ball, just off the end of the bat.
Marco Scutaro steps in. Scutaro had a base hit in the 1st inning. Nice pitch down around the knees. Scutaro 5 for 10 in the series. Blue Jays don't steal much. They have just 15 steals on the year. That's the 2nd fewest in the American League. They just hit the ball in the ballpark. 43 home runs. Very close. Braden took a couple steps toward the dugout. He thought maybe he had Bautista. Bautista does not look comfortable at first at all.
Well, I'll still say the one thing it does do, it keep the runner close to first base, and just an outstanding move by Dallas Braden. Very quick move.
Scutaro gets jammed. Easy roller toward Kennedy. Side retired. Bottom of the 2nd coming up. It'll be Cuss, Sweeney, and Crosby. No score. All the mothers a happy Mother's Day. The weather should be nice and sunny on Mother's Day, don't you agree? And it is today.
In some places anyway. It should be in California, for sure.
First pitch to Jack Cust is just a bit high from Brett Cecil. He's Cecil gave up a 1-out hit in the first to Kurt Suzuki, but that was it. Warm enough that that man selling the lemonade will probably have a busy day. Into the shift, it's Aaron Hill back out in the outfield grass. So Cust is out. 1 out. All right, here's today's Subway Eat Fresh Ask Glenn and Ray question. It comes from Daisy in Martinez. She wants to know, why can't players or managers argue balls and strikes? It's a good question.
Or better yet, why can't they use the replay for balls and strikes? You have to take the human element out of it. Of course, the replay now is used strictly for home run calls, fair or foul, just over the fence or not. But it's just if that's the case, they'd be arguing every pitch, because it is a call that's made by the umpire, and he's doing his best. But when Bob Guerin was ejected yesterday, he went out because Matt Holliday was arguing with the umpire. Went out to protect Matt Holliday, but once he opened his mouth and started talking about balls and strikes, it's automatic ejection.
There you go.
There is no hesitation by the umpire. You argue balls and strikes, it is automatic.
One of our colleagues in the announcers world told me, and I've never heard that, but that there is an umpire's manual. It's not the rule book. And it kind of lets the umpires know certain things, like if there's arguing on balls and strikes, then that is an automatic ejection. Yeah. So I've never heard that, but I believe it's probably true.
Well, that's what happened yesterday. Matt Holliday was called out. Look at the location. This pitch is way out here.
Oh, my gosh.
That was the second.
Serious?
The first inning, and he was arguing. Paul Nart, the home plate umpire, then, and Guerin came out, and what's the arm? And, of course, Bob, Cito, Gaston, players, they all could have been ejected yesterday because they were all arguing.
That was terrible.
But a player can argue. And if he, asks in a decent enough way, I guess, without using any profanity, or you never start a statement with you, because it's directing it at the umpire. That more than anything, regardless of profanity, if you say you, regardless of what you say after that, you're gone, because you are directing the umpire.
Instead of saying you just made a really bad call, you could say that was a really bad call.
Yeah, exactly. With that YOU. It's still a person.
That makes sense. You don't want to get personal. Adam Kennedy steps in.
Bobby Crosby, a chance to see Brett Cecil, and down in the batting order, you get a chance a little bit longer to see a pitcher, especially if you've not seen him. And Adam Rowan, of course, putting all together the video of this young man pitching, so the A's hitters could see him, seeing him for the first time live. If down in the batting order, maybe a little bit of a chance to look for a certain pitch, and Bobby Crosby, as he has been doing lately, just hit the ball, hitting on the line drive. He's not carrying the ball, he's not hit a home run, but he'll take the line drives and hitting them to the gaps.
Just a little off the plate, so the count 2-0 to Kennedy. And we had a question the other night, and it had to do with the southpaw pitcher and why he's called the southpaw. And my partner Ray has done lots of research, and he's going to give us the answer when we come back. Why do they call a lefty a southpaw? You'll find out. No score.
$2, and hot dogs are just $1. Great deal. $3. Watch baseball and get a hot dog, maybe more than that. And it's all courtesy of Bart's.
Aaron Hill goes after the first pitch and drives one to left, but Holiday's got just enough room, and he makes the catch for the first out.
By the way, order online, oaklandathletics.com, or you can call 877-493-BALL.
All right. So one away for Alex Rios. Ray, I got a question for you. Why do they call left-handed pitchers southpaws?
Well, I have an answer that you wouldn't like to hear, but I'll tell you the real reason. Started at Chicago's Wrigley
Field. I'm right-handed.
I know that. Chicago's Wrigley Field. But, of course, during the period of time, lights were in Cincinnati for the first time in what? But the whole idea, starting late 1900s or 1800s, standard was to build a playing field in such a way as to maximize exposure to the sun during what were then almost always afternoon games, while avoiding hitters having to look into the sun. With the first base line running due east-west, third north-south, Wrigley was no exception. Left-handed pitchers therefore delivered the ball from the south side.
Alex Rios is homered, but let's get back to the more important stuff.
Delivered ball from the south side of Wrigley's mound, and that's why it was called southpaw for lefties. Sorry, Dallas.
So it has to do with the way
it's all about the sun.
Field is shaped and where the sun hits. Alex Rios' third home run of the year. So the Blue Jays with a 1-0 lead. That's the first home run that Dallas Braden has given up in his last 5 games, the 5 games including today.
See how he brought the hands in, tried to go inside with a fastball. Rios brought the hands in, lined the ball to center his first at bat. It's almost like he was looking for it. He got it, pulled the hands in. That was it.
And Rios has been struggling. Just 2 hits in his last 18 at bats, but he connects there for the home run. 44th home run of the year for the Blue Jays. 2-0 changeup to Vernon Wells, and it's a strike. Wells hit the ball that nailed Braden, and that was in the first inning. He rolls that one foul. So 2-2.
Well, there's some pitchers that think back to Frank Howard, just a strong hitter, and you have a real strong hitter. Last thing you want to do is pitch them outside. If you're a left-handed pitcher pitching to a right-hander like Wells in the first inning, because if they try to pull the outside pitch and they don't get around on it, where does it go? Right back up the middle. They had pitchers who would say, set up inside the big Hondo. I don't want him to pull the ball to me, so I'd rather pitch him inside, let him pull it to the third baseman, and he could play back in the outfield grass.
Two outs for Adam Lind. Lind had a base hit in the first inning. He's 4 for 10 in the series, and his batting average now up to .341. Crosby has it. Steps on the bag, side retired. Alex Rios gives the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead with his third home run of the year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Aquafina water break. Be sure to try Aquafina at Stadium.
mother Kathy. Matt looks like a happy guy with mom, as he should be.
Absolutely. Lovely wife, 2 young children.
Yeah. Two young boys. Millar makes kind of a nifty play at first as Jack Hanahan is out.
Well, that was a Millar play there. As the runner arriving about the same time of the baseball, Millar not really having a problem with sticking his hand in there and maybe even taking the blow. Check swing. Jack a little slow out of the batter's box. Otherwise, might have had a chance to beat it out. But watch Millar just casually catch the ball as the runner's coming, pull it back quickly. Some guys would maybe pull back too quickly and have the ball going down the bullpen.
Top of the order in Orlando Cabrera. Cabrera, a cue shot, and Millar has that one. So 2 quick outs here. In fact,
now batting,
2 outs on 2 pitches.
Number 8, catcher Kurt Suzuki.
And that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. Kurt on an 0-2 pitch, lined to single to center field in the first inning. His second hit in the series. So Kurt's batting average at .318. He's really done most of his damage against right-handed pitching. He did have the base hit in the first against the lefty Cecil.
There's about 4 right-handers really struggled against the lefties, and I think a lot of it is the fact that lefties are pitching effectively inside to right-handers and then using the changeup and the fastball away.
Drive to left center. Nobody's going to get it. One hops the wall. And Kurt Suzuki has had no problems with Brett Cecil so far. He's got a single and a double.
I think that's more of telling the skipper Bob Garrett, see, I'm a better hitter when I catch and not DH.
That's right.
0 for 4 yesterday DHing. But this time, fastball supposed to be away, a little bit towards the middle, and Suzuki was all over it. And that 2-seam fastball away from the lefties and the changeup after pitching inside, it is having a tendency to open up a little bit too much instead of driving the ball to the opposite field. And as a result, the numbers aren't as good against lefties. Right-handers, they have a tendency to stay close to left more.
A little high to Giambi. Jason hit a ball hard down the first base line that Millar made a nice play on. So all 3 of Giambi's home runs this year, have been against lefties. And yesterday, a couple of off-speed pitches by left-handers.
Sliders that actually he might have been fooled a little bit as he was out on the front foot, but he's so strong and was able to reach out and drive the ball in the seats, no doubts in either one of them.
Two and 1 the count here with Suzuki at second. A chance for the A's to tie the game or maybe take the lead. Strike 2-2. So Giambi with the 399 career home runs, along with Al Kaline and Andres Galarraga.
And those 2 aren't playing every time. Kaline in the Hall of Fame, Galarraga. He's playing someplace, definitely not Major League Baseball.
A little bit high. See Galarraga in the WBC. He was on the bench with Venezuela. I'm not sure what team he was the hitting coach for. Yeah. Foul back.
Well, Jason, of course, a very good hitter. And even though it's a milestone, that magical number from his 299 to 300, 399 to 400, and so on, I don't think it's going to bother him. He's the same type of hitter regardless.
Swing and a miss. Cecil with a fastball on the outer half, and that's his second strikeout. We're on to the fourth inning in Oakland, 1-0 Jays. $500 every 20 minutes. Visit cashcreek.com for details.
We have a guest in the booth, and this is Rodney from the chef of the East and West Side Club, and
he's my new best friend.
And Rodney's bringing us some treats, and we'll tell you exactly all the great food you can get in the East and West Side Club. And
awesome.
We appreciate Rodney bringing the variety up here, and we'll get back to the game momentarily. As Rodney's setting it up.
Oh, boy. I tell you, Ray, you can do it, man.
2 o'clock, and Rodney's right on time.
My partner has pulled at the Coliseum.
Well, Rodney's just a good man.
Yes, he is.
And good food here at the Coliseum. For those of people who have an opportunity to enjoy a nice luxury suite or the East and West Side Club.
Isn't it amazing how popular our booth got in the last 2 minutes?
Especially from our radio partners.
Scott Rowland is thrown out by Orlando Cabrera for the first out here in the fourth inning.
Number 30, Kevin.
I actually thought Ken Korak next door was going to charge the window to our left. I think he's genuinely not happy right now that we have this food. He is, look at him, shaking his head. It's miserable. He's going to saunter over here in a minute.
And Jason's going to lock the door. Well, you know, baseball is a great game, but, you know, folks come out and they want to make sure they can enjoy baseball and have a good meal. Rodney, you're the best, buddy. You're the best.
0-2 to Kevin Millar. Goes after a pitch that was up in the strike zone. Tough sun. Suzuki, Hanahan battling it, and Jack Hanahan hangs in there, and he makes the catch.
He's got to call off everybody simply because it's an easier shot for him than especially Suzuki coming down the line. 20, Rodney, thank you. Appreciate it.
Listen up.
That's exactly what you do. Because Suzuki did not want to have anything to do with it, and pitcher, you want to keep him out of it anyway.
So 4 in a row retired by Dallas Braden. That'll bring up Rod Barajas. Barajas popped out to short. He's back in the second inning. That one rolled behind third. Hanahan handles a tough hop, and a very nice inning for Dallas Braden, and a little help from the defense. at third base. Bottom of the fourth coming up. 1-0 Jays.
Well, if you can't go to Carl's Jr., you come right here at the Coliseum. And the West Side Club, Rodney was talking about the burger that's, of course, in the West Side Club, a new deli that is available in the West Side Club as well. So all this fine food, crab cakes, Angus burgers, deli sandwiches. This is all from the West Side Club, and we appreciate Rodney bringing it up. And folks have a chance to come out, and the West Side Club is open, that you can come out and have dinner. It's open during the game, before the game. And those folks might be eating a burger right now from the West Side Club in the concession. They do have the burgers in the concession as well.
Holliday lines out to center field, so Matt Holliday has hit 2 balls very hard, but does not have anything to show for it. So 1 out for Jack Cust. Cust grounded out to second.
Didn't take Grady long to jump in.
No, I know.
Or Mikey. Attaboy.
Mikey went right for the crab cake.
Pretty good.
So Brett Cecil so far has allowed his 3 hits to the A's. A couple singles and a double. He has not walked anybody and has struck out 2. Just off the plate to Cust.
Dallas Braden, of course, just hopeful for some offense. He's given up the 1 run. Trailing 1-0. He's been shut out twice this year. He's mentioned the very low run support.
So 1-2 the count to Jack Cust. And there's Jack with his mother Faith. And she should be very proud of Jack. He's a good guy.
Yeah, and Jack's a junior. His dad, Jack, as we see in spring training and around the American League when the A's are in town.
Again, foul to the left side. So the count remains 1-2. Cust is 1 for 8 so far in the series. He's got 1 walk. So he's got 19 walks on the year, and he takes a pitch on the outside corner, strike 3 call.
Center fielder.
On a breaking ball, and Joe West not very excited to call his pitch. He's going to let everybody just wait and stand up and then a little punch out. But breaking ball that Jack thought was a little outside. Big Joe didn't.
So Ryan Sweeney will hit with 2 outs. He grounded out to short in the second inning. Sweeney spent all those games in the leadoff spot, but now this is the 4th straight time he has hit 6th in the lineup. A home run on Friday night, his 2nd of the year. So Bob Garrett maybe tried to get him going again and then put him back in that leadoff spot. Sweeney, I think, has the ability to drive in runs as well.
The 2 home runs have been cut fastballs into his swing, and of course everything for the left-hander is going away from him, especially the breaking ball. And then he may try to take to left field with a base hit.
Full count. Bobby Crosby in the on deck circle. Payoff pitch to Sweeney. It's low, ball 4.
Scott Richmond gave it up to Ryan Sweeney in the 5-run second. Look at this cutter. Came right in to the wheelhouse of Ryan Sweeney. A long drive into the stairwell in right field. Scott Richmond gave up nothing after the 5th inning. Hardly any hits. But the A's were able to capitalize. A little bit of his pitches left up in the zone. Scored 5 runs, and bullpen held on to win the first game of the series. A's are trying to win the series with a win this afternoon.
Inside to Bobby Crosby. A's will have 2 more games on this homestand. The Royals Tuesday night and Wednesday night. So far the A's 2-4 on the 9-game homestand. The Royals and the Angels wrapping up their series in Anaheim. Kansas City 3, the Angels 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's Davies and Lukes.
Joe Saunders last night.
That was quite a game, huh?
Shut out 1-0 over Zach Greinke. Gave up 1 run, and that's it. Lost 1-0.
Game today, Lukes has already been taken out of the game. So Royals have got into the bullpen early of the Angels. Keep an eye on that one. 2-1 to Crosby. Texas Rangers beat the White Sox 7-1. That game just went final. So Texas goes to Chicago, takes 2 out of 3 from the Sox.
Seattle was trailing 2-0. They've scored 4, and they're trying to break a 6-game losing streak. Last win was last Sunday against the A's in the 15 innings, and the A's had a chance to sweep the Mariners in that 3-game series. A's lost 2 of 3, but had a chance to win all 3.
Here the Mariners put Carlos Silva on the disabled list and activated Brandon Morrow to closer. So had a little bit of shuffling going on with the Mariners pitching staff. Another full count. Adam Kennedy would hit next if Crosby can get aboard. Inside, back-to-back walks.
Good take by Bobby Crosby on the 3-2 fastball.
Second baseman.
And what we're seeing in Bobby Crosby is a chance to play every day and staying healthy. And we're seeing the confidence that we saw in his Rookie of the Year season, his first year. And I think he's just gone through a period of time where he's had some injuries that kept him from playing every day. And now all of a sudden, seeing it more and more where he is swinging the bat well.
And here's Adam Kennedy, and that pitch is low. Sometimes you can tell how a guy's going by watching how he takes pitches. Called a strike. A bit surprised by that.
Barajas took it out of the strike zone, and that's see that happen sometimes, and I think Barajas did on that one.
1-2 now to Kennedy. The A's are making Brett Cecil work here in the fourth. Slowly hit to second. Hill charges, flips to first. Side retired A. Strand a pair. On to the fifth. It's still 1-0 Jays. Coming to Oakland Saturday, May 23rd. Game times at 6:05. Stick around after the game for the Memorial Day Weekend Fireworks Show. Order tickets at oaklandathletics.com or call 877-493-BALL. That's right, Eric Burns and the Diamondbacks. Interleague play will get underway. A's trailing today 1-0. It was a solo home run, obviously, by Alex Rios with one out in the third inning. That is the only run in the ballgame. Jose Bautista with a line single. So Bautista is 2 for 2, a pair of base hits. So Dallas Braden will get right into the stretch here in the fifth inning.
But it's remarkable that Dallas Braden is still in the game, considering what happened in the first inning. And it's a credit to him and being able to deal with what he went through in the first inning. Line drive off his left hand, with the exception of the home run. He has given up a total of 6 hits, but just the one run.
First pitch to Scudero, who bunts, and it's a foul ball. Once an umpire puts his hands up, it means foul ball, dead ball.
But if that ball bounced behind the plate and then spun forward in fair territory, it's a fair ball. You can't base a ball bunted at the plate where the ball hits. It's where it ends up. Joe West found out yesterday that a ground ball down the first base line, and Jason Giambi let it roll. It was in the grass and rolled back, hit the foul line. Jason picked it up, tagged first base. Joe West called it a foul ball. When it hit the white line, any part of it, it's fair ball. Bautista was the hitter, started running, and Jason picked it up. It clearly was on the foul line, or on the fair line, whatever you want to call it. But it was the ball that was rolling. We saw it happen in New York where Jorge Posada, with an A's hitter, ball hit, and he let it roll, hit the grass, spun back in fair territory, picked it up, and the runner was out. Just knowing the field and your home field.
Scudero on an 0-2 pitch, and Braden got way too much of the plate, and Scudero makes him pay as he lines a single. So back-to-back hits to start the top of the 5th inning for the Blue Jays.
Aaron Hill.
So now Braden's going to have to get to work as he faces Hill, Rios, and Wells.
See the setup inside and the location. And again, this is a third time through the batting order, but we saw Rios open up his hips to hit the home run. But when you see hitters doing that, that's when you have to change your approach and maybe go more outside, because they have at least seem like they are looking inside a lot.
How about that, Ray? Aaron Hill just squared around the bunt. And the reason we say that is because Aaron Hill's hitting .351 with 28 RBIs. He's been as good of an offensive player as there is in the American League this year. Swings at that one. Cabrera knocks it down and does not have a play anywhere. But a nice play by Cabrera, and he may have saved a run. But the bases are now loaded. 3 consecutive hits and nobody out.
Well, the first bunt attempt was the infielders, middle infielders, Hanahan on the grass. Cabrera towards second base. And he definitely saved a run, but could not come up with it. His play might have been to go to third to get Bautista had he come up with it cleanly.
And here's Rios. Right on the outside corner. Braden gets the strike.
Now, if you pitch outside and you get right-handers to roll over, you get a ground ball, maybe get a double play. You pitch them inside, and you don't get it inside.
Right center. Sweeney still drifting back at the warning track. He's got it. All the runners are going to tag up, and they're all going to advance, including Bautista, who comes in to score. Sacrifice fly for Rios, and it's a 2-0 Jays lead.
But once Ryan Sweeney was camped under the ball, that meant, especially the runner first base, which usually try to get the ball back in to keep the runner at first for a possible double play. But it was deep enough. As Rios showed with the home run to left field, this one to right center.
Here's Vernon Wells. Wells, a base hit and a strikeout. Wells is now 5 for 12 in the series. All 5 of his hits have been singles. And he went around. Braden right in under the hands, and Wells just wanted to pull the trigger but couldn't.
But that was a good fastball. That was a great location because it was off the plate. Brought the hands in, and almost like he was protecting the 2 strikes.
Wells just barely getting a piece. So 3 straight hits and a sacrifice fly as a run in for the Jays here in the 5th. Adam Lynn, the left-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. Left side of the diamond in, and so is the first baseman Crosby. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Stayed with that changeup, and he got Wells for the second out.
And for an RBI man, as David Wells is, that's disappointing, but a great changeup. And see the hips open up. Maybe the fastball inside set up this changeup because Wells opened up with a fastball in, and then after missing that, the changeup he opened up just as much and might have been thinking enough inside that the changeup worked perfectly to the outer part of the plate.
Braden to face Adam Lynn, and the pitch is high.
And respect here for Adam Lynn because with first base open, and David Vernon Wells, a very tough right-hander, went after him because of this young man's ability to hit. That is Adam Lynn.
That one looked like a breaking pitch. Had a weird cut to it. Suzuki had to do everything he could to get over there and knock it down. So the count 2-0. Scott Rowland is the on-deck hitter. Well, the meeting is over.
You usually look at a catcher blocking balls in the dirt, but Suzuki in this inning has taken a couple of pitches way off the plate and kept them from getting past him. So even though not in the dirt, he's done a great job of saving perhaps a couple of runs.
Right in there on 2-0, and Lynn took it. .71 pitches for Dallas Braden. We're in the fifth. And now it's 2-2. Look at that. That has a lot to do with Adam Lynn, obviously. Came up in the back half of the year. Right there, he takes a fastball right down the middle, strike three called. So Dallas Braden gives up one that could have been a lot worse. Bottom of the fifth, coming up 2-0 Jays. it was Sportsnet Central tonight at 6 o'clock on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Jack Canahan leading off. Excuse me, right?
Great job by Dallas Braden. Bases loaded, nobody out, only gives up 1 run. And, you know, the A's dugout's got to be saying, let's score him some runs. Takes the ball off his hand. Pitching a great game for 5 innings. Cecil's not giving up anything. Never any doubt about Dallas Braden today says it all.
Strike to Hanahan. Hanahan went back to the pitcher in the 3rd inning. Scribbler out in front of the plate. Jack getting the chance to play 3rd base. 4th consecutive game that he has been in the starting lineup. The 3-1 pitch. He rolls over on it. And it's a bouncer to Hill. And that's the first out.
A little anxious with a 3-1 fastball. Instead of hitting the ball where it's pitched, he did. Jack Canahan did exactly what Cecil had wanted, that's to roll over on the same pitch.
Nothing worse for a left-handed hitter than the rollover and the ground ball to second base. Orlando Cabrera is 0 for 2. Swing and a miss. Cabrera now 2 for 10 in the series. This is the 4th game in a row that he has been in the leadoff spot. He and Jack Cuss, the 2 A's players that have started all the games for the A's this year. And this is game number 29. Off the plate, Scudero has a little trouble getting it out, and then he throws. Millar digs it out, and a close play at first goes to the Blue Jays.
Well, you would think with the ball off the plate, Scudero bobbing the ball in the dirt, and all that still resulted in an out. This is a high one, but Scudero got to it before it hopped, before it hit the ground. And even though he did scoop it, or double clutch, Cabrera in the air, the ball in the glove. The first baseman was Millar. That's why you don't jump in the bag. Try to run through the bag.
Kevin Millar's made a couple nice plays today over at first. 0-1 the count to Kurt Suzuki. Kurt has 2 of the A's 3 hits today, a single in the first, a double in the 3rd. So the average now at .324 for the A's catcher. He's been the A's most solid offensive player so far this season. Drives that one to center, but Wells goes back, straightens up, has got it inside, retired. 3 up, 3 down inning, and we are headed to the 6th inning. Rowland, Millar, and Barajas will hit for the Jays. That is Bobby Crosby with his mom, Kathy. Bobby styling with the tuxedo on.
It's probably his wedding.
That's a good call.
In Italy. He and Gina got married in Italy, expecting their first child this summer. Along with about 4 other guys.
The A's family is going to grow this offseason. Scott Rowland leading it off. Rowland is grounded out twice. Both the shortstop. The Jays with single runs in the 3rd and in the 5th. And it could have been a lot worse in the 5th inning. Jays had the bases loaded and nobody out. But Braden got tough and got out of it with just the 1 run, a sacrifice fly by Alex Rios. Three and 1 to Rowland. Swung at ball 4 and rolls it foul. Rowland was in the lineup Friday night and went 1 for 4 with a double. He did not play yesterday. A line drive, left field base hit. Holiday racing over to cut it off. He goes into a slide and it gets by him and goes off the wall. So Rowland will have a double. Holiday knew he was really going to have to hustle to get over there. And even if he did field it clean, I don't know if he would have been able to hold Rowland to a single.
Well, to get inside, and Rowland brought his hands in. Man, Holiday, of course, very good at getting to the corner. And once that happens, can cut the ball off. A lot of times the runner will stop going round first. A couple of guys on this field, Scott Rowland and Matt Holiday. Good size, but can run.
Yeah.
The A's Major League Baseball and People magazine are looking for A's fans who have made a difference in their community. 30 everyday All-Stars will be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game in St. Louis, and one will be featured in People magazine. To nominate, go to peopleallstars.com.
So Dallas Braden will have to work out of a jam again here in the 6th inning. Faces Kevin Millar, and the first pitch, a breaking ball in for a strike. Millar hits one high to center. Rowland goes back to second to tag up Sweeney. Puts his hand up to block the sun. He makes the catch, but it was deep enough to allow Rowland to get to third.
Even though the ball a little bit more shallow, once you're a runner and you see the outfielder struggling with the sun, it eliminates setting up any timing. He's backpedaling, caught the ball on his heels, and there's no way he's going to throw out anybody. And nothing against Ryan Sweeney. It's just with a tough sun, it changes everything. When you can get back on the ball and then run towards it and get your momentum behind you as you make the throw, pretty good chance the guy might have not even try. But once the hand went up, that was an indication. Get to third.
Another ball hit towards center by Rod Barajas, and Sweeney's going to track it down in deep right center. It's going to be a sacrifice fly as Rowland trots home. So that's the second sacrifice fly in this game for the Toronto Blue Jays, and it's 3-0. Pretty good situational hitting by the Blue Jays. Probably one of the reasons why they're scoring so many runs this year. Leadoff double. Fly ball gets the runner to third, and another fly ball gets him in. So Barajas, his 18th RBI of the year. 2 outs for Jose Bautista. Royals still leading the Angels 3-1, top of the 7th in Anaheim. Bautista, a couple of singles today. Gets that one down the right field line. Cussed over, and he's got it. Side retired. A run for the Jays. Bottom of the 6th, coming up 3-0 Toronto.
First inning, Jason Giambi. First Major League home run off David Cone of the Toronto Blue Jays. 1995. You notice something about the outfield? There was no Mal Davis. It wasn't there.
The good old days.
The good old days. And, of course, in that game as well, his good buddy Mark McGuire was hit in the head by David Cone with a pitch ball. In that game, it was Giambi going deep for the first time, and he is one away from making it 400.
Giambi hits that one hard into the shed. Aaron Hill has it, and Giambi is retired, and that's the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. So that'll bring up Matt Holliday. Giambi 0 for 3 this afternoon. A couple of flyouts for Holliday. He's now 2 for 10 in the series. And it's probably not fair to say flyouts. He has hit a couple of balls very hard. One to right field, one to center field. It's quickly 0-2. 5 in a row set down by Brett Cecil, the lefty for the Jays.
Amazing how many times you see a new pitcher, and well, the last several years the A's seeing a new pitcher for the first time. You just cannot figure them out. Hard slider down and in to Matt Holliday, and a check swing called by Joe West.
Right fielder, number 32.
The last hit the A's had was the Suzuki double in the 3rd inning, and we're now in the 6th. Cecil did walk a couple in the 4th.
A couple of fastballs and a slider out of the strike zone that Matt could not hold up his swing.
Cecil's pitch count is at 77. Joe West know, and so is Jack Cuss. So Joe, who generally does not like to be questioned on a whole lot of anything, especially when he's got umpire gear on. 1-1 to Cust, who has grounded out and struck out. Dribbles that one foul.
All the bad strike zone does is force the hitters to swing at bad pitches. All people, Jack Cust knows the strike zone.
Cust rips one down the left field line, and that is fair. One hops the wall. Bautista gets to it quickly, fires it back in, and Cust is out. He overslid the bag, and Scutaro stayed with the tag like a good infielder does, and Cust slid off the bag, and he is out at second base. Position, but Marco Scutaro didn't, which you like to see middle infielders do.
Well, the fact the ball came off the left field wall as it did, Bautista has got to have a play at second base, so Jack had to turn it up an extra notch, turn on the afterburner, and in doing so overslid the bag, slid late, could not grab the bag with his hand. You see the middle infielders always hang on to the ball and just follow the runner as he slides it. As Jack's speed took him past the bag.
Michael Wirtz takes over for the Athletics here in the 7th inning. And he faces Marco Scutaro, who swings and misses at Wirtz's first pitch. 2-1 with a 1.62 ERA for Wirtz. Add up your hits and walks, and if they don't equal the amount of innings pitched, that's really good. The bunt attempt is foul by Scutaro, so it's quickly 0-2. Best ERA in the majors, the A's bullpen at 2.65. That's the good news. The bad news is they've thrown the most innings, which is something that will need to change as the season goes on. Today, Dallas Braden, the starter, went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits and 3 runs. In this series so far, the A's bullpen has thrown 8 2/3 innings. Drive to left center, a long run for Holiday, still on the move, and he caught it right in front of the wall. Very good running play by Matt Holiday.
Number 2.
We'll get another 2-strike swing by Marco Scutaro. Matt Holiday, watch as he catches the ball. It's like he got a little bit of snow cone and brings it back down into the pocket to hang on as he hit the wall. Good job of keeping the ball intact. Long run for the A's left fielder to get to the ball.
One out for Aaron Hill. Hill reached on a fielder's choice. A fly out to left and the base hit in the fifth. He is 3 for 13 in the series. That Michael Wart's slider, and Hill swings and misses at a ball in the dirt. In the dirt again. This time Hill was not thrown out. Well, the Mariners finished off their comfort behind win in Minnesota, 5-3 the final. That breaks that 6-game losing streak by Seattle. Gets them back to 500 at 16-16. Ken Griffey Jr. homered in that game. Number 614 in his career. And you mentioned Brandon Morrow just off the disabled list. He got the save. Well, a badly needed win by Seattle, and they got it.
Couldn't get it with Felix Fernandez on the mound last night. Of all people,
yeah,
Felix is going to stop any sort of a long losing streak.
You would think. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Good downward movement by Wirtz on that pitch, and Hill swings and misses.
Nasty slider, and of course, look at it as a splitter, but thrown very hard. The hard slider spin right over the top, out of the strike zone, but a tough pitch not to swing at.
Here's Alex Rios, who's done plenty of damage today. Home run in the third and a sacrifice fly in the fifth, so he now has 16 RBIs on the year. He drives one to left. Holiday back. Got room, and he makes the catch. So Michael Wirtz, another 3-up, 3-down inning. 7th inning stretch at the Coliseum, 3-0 Jays. Dallas Braden in the first inning got hit right on the wrist, but he was able to stay in the game and he pitched pretty well. He did give up the home run to Alex Rios. That was in the third inning. And then a sacrifice fly by Rios in the fifth. That would make it a 2-0 game. Rod Barajas a sacrifice fly in the sixth. And that is all the scoring in this game so far. The Jays with a 3-0 lead. Brett Cecil, the 22-year-old left-hander, making just his second major league start. He has pitched very well so far. He's not had a lot of chances against him.
Well, we came into the game saying Dallas Braden had very poor run support, and guess what? He's got even worse support today, 0.
And on an 0-2 pitch, Sweeney, very frustrated with himself, swings at a pitch in the dirt. So that is the 5th strikeout for Brett Cecil.
First baseman, number 7, Bobby Crosby.
The hard slider, man. Holiday last inning swung at a slider down, and guys must not be able to pick up the pitch out of Cecil's hand as they continue to swing at pitches out of the strike zone.
Bobby Crosby's been on base twice. Hit hard, but rolling very smooth on the backhand. Takes care of Bobby Crosby for the second out.
Those Gold Glovers can rob a lot of guys.
Second baseman.
And they make it look easy doing it. Watch this. That ball's hit
Second
hard.
hop, just down to left knee, backhand the ball, and a strong arm, strong throw, which Rollins always had the strong arm.
Here's Adam Kennedy. Cecil has retired 8 of the last 9 he has faced. And this will be pitch number 88 coming up. Line drive, base hit, Adam Kennedy. So maybe a 2-out rally for the A's as Kennedy gets the single.
Now batting,
Hit number 5.
number 22, Jack Hanahan.
A little bit of an uppercut, as we have always seen from Adam Kennedy. But he knows how to hit, and that one gets into right field, similar to the hit that he got yesterday, drive in and run.
Hanahan is not going anywhere. Joe West really didn't say anything at all, so nobody really knew whether it was fair or foul. And that's why everybody went after the ball, because nobody knew whether it was fair or foul, but I guess it was foul.
The chalk. That's fair. When the ball hits off the foot of the hitter and the hitter doesn't move and usually goes to the ground, that means it's off his foot and it's a foul ball.
Strike called to Hanahan, and it's quickly 0-2. So Jack's going to take a step back. Strike 3 called, and Hanahan knew it. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Brett Cecil. We're headed to the 8th on Mother's Day at the Coliseum. 3-0 Jays. Adam Lind and Scott Rowland. Ziegler's job is to keep the deficit at 3. Wells chops one slowly to second, and that's the first out in the 8th. Michael Wirtz, clean 7th inning with 1 strikeout.
Number 26,
Braden's 6 innings.
Adam Lind.
And Vernon Wells, who just grounded out to second, the name came up as Evan Longoria. Yesterday, a big day against the Boston Red Sox. He's now driven in 21 runs this year against the Red Sox in just 9 games. 9 games.
Well, I saw his total for the year. It was 44.
Yeah. But he's only the 3rd player since in 38 years to drive in at least that many runs against the Red Sox. That's a full season, yet Longoria has done it in just 9 games. Got a half of more games to go. Wells, one of the others, at 22 runs driven in. But what a career he's having, Longoria, against the Boston Red Sox. 2-run home run yesterday.
Toward Kennedy. And that's the second out. Well, those 2 teams will play tonight at Fenway Park, so it's the national game.
Number 33.
So we go home and watch Longoria do some more damage.
Well, Longoria hit a ball to center field, and I like it. He's running hard, think it's a double, and it goes in the seats at Fenway. That's how strong the young man is. Unbelievable. Ball off the green monster, drive in 2 more on sac fly. 5 runs batted in yesterday.
Will be the rubber game of that series.
Scott Rowland, who is probably as mild-mannered as anybody. Looks like he had a nice hello for Joe West.
I would imagine.
Probably not a lot of Christmas cards. Joe doesn't have to worry about going to the mailbox too often.
And I don't think he cares.
He probably wishes he had been up here to enjoy some of Chef Rodney's food in the West Side Club, in the concession.
He would have enjoyed it as much as we did. I just can't believe how popular our booth got.
Yeah.
And now, everybody's gone. Food's gone. People are gone.
There's one guy in the booth next to us is still shooting darts. But it's all right.
He's mad at us. Ken Korak, our good friend over in radio. I think he's seriously mad at us. Strike 3 call, and Rowland will sit down. Ziegler, a 3-up, 3-9 inning. So the A's bullpen doing their thing again. Still 3-0 Jays. Blue Jays 3 and the A's nothing. Bottom of the 8th inning. And the story in this ball game right now is Brett Cecil making just his second major league start. Young man is just 22 years old, and he's been in control most of this game. He has walked 2 and struck out 6. This is the top of the A's order: Cabrera, Suzuki, and Giambi. Cabrera is 0 for 3. Strikeout, a pop out, and a ground out so far. A's with 5 hits off Cecil. Whatever he is doing, it is working today.
Well, the young pitcher, it's always nice to have a veteran catcher calling the game. That way it eliminates any thought process in your mind as you look in to get a sign. Rob Ross has been around long enough for Cecil to go with his every call.
Bouncer to short. Scudero gets a big hop. 1 out. Yeah, no reason to shake him off if you're making your second major league start, especially if it's working. Kurt Suzuki has had a couple of hits today. He's 2 for 3. Curveball, bounce to second. Hill has it. 2 outs. Well, it helps if you can throw a first pitch curveball for a strike, and then it helps even more if you get an out with that pitch.
And a lot of times, if you do get the out, it's a big bonus because hitters sit fastball.
Yep.
They get a curveball, then a lot of times they will not swing it, so it has to be thrown a strike. But 100th pitch coming up for the young man who, we'll see if Brad Arnsberg, pitching coach, Cedar Gaston manager, who has the ultimate decision if he stays in the game. Try to do something special in a second start.
1-0 to Giambi. Jason had a base hit taken away by Millar in the first, and a strikeout and a ground out. And now he's ahead in the count, 2-0. Jason, a couple hits in the series, both home runs, and he takes a strike there. Bob Guerin said he saw it in Seattle, where watching Giambi hit, the swing started to tighten up a little bit, he said. And when you start to see that happening, results are usually not very far away. Broken bat toward the shift, and that's Aaron Hill way out in right field, and he makes the play. Side retired. 3 ground ball outs. We're headed to the 9th. 3-0 Jays. right here on Comcast Sportsnet California. Brad Ziegler, his second inning of work.
Just a 10-pitch 8th inning, so he comes back out for the 9th. And just trying to get some work in to get back to 100%, which he probably is after suffering a flu bug last road trip, beginning of this homestand.
2-1 to Millar, who is 0 for 3. And hits one up the middle and into center field. Well, the Angels have come back in their game. They were trailing 3-1 going to the bottom of the 7th, but they scored 3 in the bottom of the 7th. So the Angels with a 4-3 lead over the Royals. That game now in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Angels going for the 3-game sweep of the Royals. Royals will be here Tuesday night. Host the Red Sox Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so their homestand will continue. Barajas pops one up, shallow right center. Sweeney in, and it's going to drop. What do they call that? The Bermuda Triangle? And nobody could get to it, and it's a hit for Barajas. Cust, Kennedy, and Sweeney, and it landed right in the middle of them, and I'm not sure any of them.
There's the triangle right there. Just landed right in the middle. Frustrating for a pitcher for him to make a good pitch and then to have the ball drop. Just did a good job. Almost got the runner at second. He was caught in between.
Ziegler picked up the bunt. He's going to throw a third, and they get Millar at third. Nice play by Ziegler. 1 out. No hesitation, and there can't be.
Trying to bunt the ball to Crosby or to Hanahan, but Hanahan saw Ziegler get to the ball and get back to the bag. And that's the key right there for Ziegler to come up quickly to throw. Working on the PFPs, pitch fundamental practice, and that time it paid off.
And it's all about the catcher too, right?
Catcher has to make the call. Should make the call. Usually go 3. They don't want to say third. They want to call out the number, which would indicate third base.
You see the catcher has the best view of whether there is going to be a play at third. He's looking right at it. Still 2 on. It's Barajas at second, Batista at first. Way inside. Scudero skips out of the way. The Rangers won their game today 7-1. Hank Blaylock a couple of home runs in Chicago. So the Rangers have won and the Mariners have won. The Angels are winning. One and 2 now to Marcos Scudero. There's your bullpen. The righty Fraser and the lefty Downs. The frisbee slider. And Scudero was able to lay off. Scudero a single in the first and a single in the 5th. And he It's a chopper. Hanahan on the run. Kennedy with the turn. No. Most of the A's players were headed to the dugout. It was a very close play at first.
And a very quick turn by Adam Kennedy at second.
Number 2.
That is Ed Rapuano. He thought Scudero beat it out. That's all that matters. But quick turn at second. Got a lot on the throw. This time Scudero jumping at the bag, and he gets the call.
First and third, 2 outs, and now you got to face Hill. And Brooks when foul. $11 hits now for the Jays, 5 for the A's. Ziegler gave up back-to-back hits leading off this inning, and now he's trying to work his way out of that jam. He's 1 out away. Line drive right field, and that's a base hit. Aaron Hill reached out and lined one to right, and an insurance run for the Jays as Barajas comes in to score. It's 4-0.
Number 15.
Aaron Hill picks up RBI number 29, and it's a big one.
Well, that's why you hope to turn the double play. If you're the defense, you're the offense, you try to avoid being doubled up, keep the inning alive. And Aaron Hill with the fastball up from Brad Ziegler took it to right field for another hit.
Alex Rios steps in. Rios homered in the third. And that is past a diving Kennedy. Marco Scudero will score. Cust was not able to pick it up clean. He would not have a play on Scudero. So it's a base hit RBI, and now it's 5-0. And Bob Guerin's coming out. So 4 hits in the inning for the Jays off Ziegler. So we're going to see Jeff Gray on in relief of Ziegler. So 2 outs here in the top of the 9th, 5-0 Toronto.
Sometimes you wonder if the Orioles are still in the American League.
Why do you say that?
Because you hardly see them. You know, it's just a team where you.
Well, you hear the Yankees and the Red Sox. That's what everybody talks about. And now the Rays jump in the mix after last year. This year, Toronto.
The Orioles usually they come here once, the A's go there once, and that's it. So that's the way it seems anyway. Yep. And it's usually second half of the season. This time it's just before the break. Jeff Gray in camp with the Athletics. He was sent to AAA early. But good to see him back in the big leagues at AAA. See his numbers. A good two-seam fastball. Very good sinker. Hard slider.
Pitched in 5 games last year for the Athletics. Wells, Lind, and Rowland are the 3 hitters for the Jays here. And it's going to get Wells, and those other 2 guys will not hit as Gray gets out of it. But 2 more runs for the Jays, so they will have a 5-0 lead going to the bottom of the 9th. With the score 5-0. Fans still having a good time, as they should. Very nice day at the ballpark. Jason Frazier will come in. Terrific season so far. 4-0 with an ERA of 0.79. Frazier takes over. He's 31 years old. He's been an important part of the Blue Jays bullpen the last 4 or 5 years. Matt Holliday leading things off, and he hits a high fly ball right field, and that's the first out.
Right fielder, number 32, Jack.
No, that'll bring up Jack Cust. Jason Frazier is going to get 1 out, and that's going to do it. It's going to be Jesse Carlson taking over. So we'll take a break. A couple of left-handed hitters coming up in Cust and Sweeney. New pitcher for the Blue Jays is Jesse Carlson. Jays with a 5-0 lead. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. And with a couple of left-handed hitters coming up, and Custon Sweeney. Cedar Gaston went to his lefty, Jesse Carlson. And you can watch Carlson throw one pitch and realize that he's probably tough at bat against left-handed hitters because he really drops down and he's got a little bit of a funky delivery.
The numbers for Carlson, for Cedar Gaston, might be using this game to get a little bit of work for his bullpen. Complete game on Friday night for Richmond, and a losing effort yesterday afternoon. Talent went 7. Cecil 8 this afternoon. So a nice problem to have, that you have to get your bullpen guys some work. Dallas Braden, though, today, considering he could have been out after the 4th hitter. Line drive off his hand, yet, 6 innings, and did his job. Just no run support again today.
Cuss drives one right center. Rios on the run. He's going to get there, and he has plenty of time to make the catch for the 2nd out here in the 9th.
Center fielder, number 15, Ryan Sweeney.
So it'll be up to Ryan Sweeney. Sweeney has been on base once today. It was a walk in the 4th inning. First pitch on the outside corner, a strike. Grounded to second, and this should do it. Hill has it, and the Toronto Blue Jays shut out the Oakland A's in the series finale by a score of 5-0. So Brett Cecil, just his 2nd major league start, he was terrific. He gets a couple of relievers in the 9th who take over and finish off that shutout. So a disappointing end to the series. It was a series that started with